Are you employed, sir?
Employed?
You don't go out looking for a job dressed like that, do you? On a weekday?
Is this what day is this?
So, this is Louis, and no, I'm not dead. I just, took a few weeks off. And, it wasn't really intentional. I've been in a bad mood for the last few weeks, and there's been a lot of uncertainty as it relates to my finances since then. Not that I'm really strung up for cash, but it doesn't really help you, sleep at night when the money that the IRS is supposed to kick your way, unemployment, and everything else is just up for grabs for what the fuck's going on, because I'm not getting paid by anybody. Not getting the Trump bucks, not getting any money from the state. No, the government's nowhere to be seen. They did tax me for close to $800 for my severance. They remembered to do that. To tax my severance $800. But in terms of actually paying me unemployment or Trump bucks or anything, the IRS and everybody else, they're just nowhere to be seen. So that's really put me in a bad mode. And being that it hasn't changed even weeks later, I've sort of just spiraled into an unproductive disposition. But today I decided that, based on certain news, that I should finally lay out the video that I meant to do months ago, honestly. It's been on the back burner since the beginning of February, according to my Gmail account where I store some of this stuff. I've meant to do it since then, but I said, who cares about The Last of Us 2? I knew that this was going to be one of those videos where there was a question I couldn't answer, that I'd have to speculate. And that speculation would allow a group of faggots to stumble across my channel, not like what I had to say, you can't answer this question, you're just speculating, therefore you're wrong, and I can discount every other word you say. And that happens routinely on my channel. The question I had that I can now answer is, why does Sony's unbelievably strict censorship policy not apply to The Last of Us Part 2, even though explicitly, based on what we know, it should? Why? And the answer is money. Surprise. I didn't know. I couldn't say at the time, but from what I now know, I have an answer to that question. Money. What was the original thing that really irked me in March? The censorship of Persona 5 Royal. That really put a foul taste in my mouth, because what happened, some of you, many of you maybe, will not be able to understand why that upset me so much, but that was a point on the board for SJWs. That was a solid defeat for those of us that are against censorship and are anti-SJWs, whatever. That is the SJWs taking Atlas, because Atlas has changed their policies. They've changed the way that they're actually producing games now. And I think that for the foreseeable future, this is going to be the standard operating procedure. So what they used to do was they would censor their games. Well, once upon a time they didn't, but now they censor their games. But when, let's say, they censor Catherine, the full body, which they did, they would release a SJW North America copy, they release the Japanese copy, and then they'd have a general Asian release, which would be Chinese subs, English subs, sometimes Korean subs. It would be this general release, and that copy would be the same as the Japanese copy and would not be censored. It would not be the SJW localized North America European edition of the game. With Persona 5 Royal, which is basically the remastered Persona 5, where they change aspects of the story in that based on an addition to the game, but it's still a price gouging bullshit move, by the way. Despite it being price gouging bullshit, I wanted it. But what Atlus did was they censored the game, they edited the game based on SJW demand. They did all of it. They kept it coherent within the context, within the Japanese copy. They butchered the North American one. And in the North American one, they promoted child drag culture. And no, I'm not kidding. In the North America localized version of Persona 5 Royal, they changed the game to promote child drag queens. On top of that, the reason why it is a point on the board for the SJWs, they no longer offer the Asian version with English titles. So, as an English-speaking person, my only choice is to buy the censored SJW version of the game. That is my only choice. And I think that from here on out, this is going to be what they do. They censor their game based on SJW demand, and those of us that do not want to give them money for that are unable to participate. Our choices are between not playing the game or buying the SJW version of the game. And so my choice, to me, it's no-brainer. The only choice is to not play. So that is another company that is now the territory of SJWs in gaming. Those of you that told me that Japanese media, Japanese gaming, would not fold to the SJWs, you were wrong. You were always wrong. You're currently wrong, demonstrably wrong. And they're already taking ground. They've already taken Atlus. They've changed their SOP for how they publish their games to now there's only one option. You buy the censored version or you don't. Or you don't play any more Atlus games from here on out. Because based on what I see, this is what they're going to be doing from now on. So that really fucked me up at the end of March. But me losing my job in April, that's been really the thing that I've yet to recover from. Where it's the uncertainty that really fucks with me. Maybe when the weather improves or the state gets off its ass and actually delivers a payment, my mood will improve and I can get back to being productive again. But for the time being, I'm just in a general foul mood day to day, and it's not really changing. Had this not been the news of the day and I have a justified reason to talk about Naughty Dog and Last of Us 2, I wouldn't be doing this video, period. But this is the video I'm doing for today. And I'll set this up for you to understand, because do I have any investment in Naughty Dog? No. I've never liked their games. I've never been interested in their games. I've never thought their games were worth playing. They seemed like just console trash, in my view. I have played console games. I do like certain console games. There have been games that are still on my shelf that are PS4 exclusives that can only be played on PS4 that I'm fine with, that I like. So I'm not against consoles. But Naughty Dog has really been that company where it's just formulaic console trash for dude bro gamers, casual gamers, and it's like the same people buying Call of Duty or Madden every year. Like, I'm just not one of those people. I don't care. So you can feel free to go play the same game every year just with another reskin. I'm sure is held guilty of that of certain franchises. So I'm not really one to talk. So that's the sort of thing. Like, I am a hypocrite. We're all hypocrites to some degree. What's the point in shitting on Naughty Dog when I have no real investment outside of, hey, you know, this company is run by an SJW and they're fucking up their games the same way BioWare did, and games that I didn't find worth playing in the first place that are now even less, you know, one can find worth playing. So there's not much here to go with. But I think this is worth talking about because there is a lot here. There really is a lot here, even though I don't have a personal stake in it. Because as time has gone on, more and more has come out about Naughty Dog and their company practices, even from like a left-wing SJW position, like the same people that support Atlas censoring their game, they don't like Naughty Dog currently, based on their labor practices of, ooh, crunch, ooh, I had to work 56 hours this week, ooh. I find crunch to honestly be a joke. I did crunch, more than crunch, for 4 fucking years. In 4 years, as working as an investigator prior to getting laid off because apparently I didn't do a good enough job. In those 4 years, I took 4 sick days. I worked 50 to 80-hour weeks for 4 years. Okay? 50 to 70, 80-hour weeks for 4 fucking years. Suck my dick in relation to, ooh, crunch. Please. Some of you might disagree, but I see crunch as a joke. You're getting paid 6 figures a fucking year to work harder for a certain period of time in which you're trying to publish this massive project? Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, geez, what a fucking tragedy. You know, let me grab some Homer and check out the comparisons for the tragedy that is your fucking life. Working 50-hour weeks on a fucking game. Jesus. Anyways, so Naughty Dog's reputation has shifted pretty dramatically. And I want to say like the last 2 years, it hasn't been that long. But in the last couple years, this company's reputation has shifted dramatically to Neil Druckmann, who is the head of it, being like the biggest SJW that everyone needs to celebrate. He's a fucking genius. He's the American Kojima. Like, he's supposed to be the guy that we all suck the dick of and say he's a visionary, etc., that sort of thing. Because he produced these fucking forgettable adventure games, of which I've never played any and never felt even the slightest twinge of interest in playing. My friend's a fan of that series, but I'm not. I've never felt the need to play the Uncharted series. It took me a second to remember. And as it relates to The Last of Us, it's just the same deal. It's, you know, should I pull up the clip, and I'm not going to, of other Joe from the Angry Joe show saying, hey, Joe, you want to play another zombie game? You want to play another zombie game? That, to me, is The Last of Us. It's some other spin-off, weird, stupid, overly emotive, theatrical fucking narrative game about zombies tacitly, or some variation of that. Oh, look at this gore and body horror. It's a zombie game. I don't give a fuck. What's that game, that other zombie game that's coming out this year? Dying Light 2? I think I might have more interest in that game. And they're talking about changing it, which I'm glad, because when they said that they're going to have like a named protagonist of this brooding emo faggot, it's like, great, like, way to kill my interest to this fucking game. I don't want to play some brooding faggot. Like, I'd rather have Fallout 4, you're a total blank slate, nameless, faceless, generic, and not great character, than you're an emo faggot kind of character. So, Dying Light, I hope they change that aspect to it, because it's been done before, and I don't want to play it, and I know that already. The Last of Us Part 2, or The Last of Us 2, whatever, had a lot of hype behind it that I can't really explain, because to me, this kind of, the writing of this was kind of on the wall already. So none of this really surprises me. There's two aspects to this. There's the rumors, and then there's the confirmed leaks. So with the confirmed leaks, we all know what the score is. We know what kind of game this is going to be. This is just out and out SJW propaganda. That's all this game is. So for all you like shitting on David Cage and all fucking Detroit Become Human and all these games suck dick, yo, you're playing Beyond Two Souls, except for an even more cringeworthy game. Okay? This game looks lame as fuck. And if you are excited for this game, you are a fucking loser. we need to set that benchmark. There needs to be a sort of threshold where, you know how we can look at certain groups, and I'm not going to name any names, but people look at these groups of interest groups and or hobbies or fetishes, and people say that group are a bunch of fucking losers. When it comes to sort of internet culture, gaming culture, that sort of deal, we need to just set the benchmark, set the threshold, that if you are excited for this fucking game, you are a loser. And it's not because, oh, I'm an anti-SGW, or I hate Naughty Dog, because like I said, I don't have any investment in this company. I'm not an upset fan. I wasn't screaming, oh man, Joel, whatever. You know, I don't care. This is fucking lame. Okay? This is lame. One of the things that I like about anime, or visual novels, or aspects of Japanese culture is Yuri, which is lesbian sort of subgenre. You could call it a fetish because it is, but it's a subgenre of entertainment. When an aficionado of that looks at this and says, this is fucking lame, you need to kind of keep it within proportion. Okay? You need to keep this within, this isn't just in a vacuum. Keep this generally. Compare this to other things. Think about what you're viewing, what you're looking at, and ask yourself, is this cool? Cyberpunk, prior to fucking uglifying the female character and everything else, hiring a bunch of SJWs, Cyberpunk looked cool. It looked cool. The Witcher is cool. There are aspects of gaming that are cool, even though it's a nerdy culture. When I look at this, I see the opposite. I see something that is unapologetically and unequivocally, undeniably, lame. This is lame. If I were younger, I'd say this is gay. It is, literally. But in terms of me as a junior in high school, this is gay. This is fucking lame. And I'm not going to feel bad if people bully you for liking this shit. This is you being the emo kid. This is you as the goth kid in the South Park context. This is something that generally I think we need to say is fucking for losers. This is uncool. I don't remember exactly what I was talking about then. It may have been this, but I compared another thing to goth kids in the South Park context of being fucking lame. I can't remember what it was. It may have been this fucking game. But in any case, I just want to stress that. I don't care how hyped certain people were or how they feel about the first game, but Louis, the first one's good, or what about Uncharted? I don't care. I don't care about any of that. I'm looking at this fucking game, and I'm saying that this is fucking lame. And if you like it, you should feel bad. Because no one's going to defend me when I'm talking about, oh, look at these two girls kiss in Japanese anime. No one's going to fucking defend me. But I have to listen to everyone they are going to defend this shit when it comes out in June, whatever it is. When this game comes out, I am going to hear people defend this shit. When it is so obnoxiously fucking lame. It is so obnoxiously uncool. This is a game by SJW losers for SJW losers. That is what this is. Now that I got that out of the way, Naughty Dog is being accused of treating their devs like shit. And that is actually preface to what's going on now. So, for months, Naughty Dog has been accused of taking advantage of their developers. The problem with developers is that even individually, they have access to a lot of information. And even in terms of doing whatever their small aspect is to their job, they still have access to a lot about a game. And this is what I know from talking about people that have actually worked on AA, AAA level games. They know a lot. And it's not just from meetings or hints or emails. It is, they have access to this content from being in the studio. They could walk to another person's desk and have immediate access to so much of the game itself. It doesn't usually work out in your favor if you create too many disgruntled employees, especially when they have access to a lot of content. And that has been the result, allegedly, from the most recent leak that happened fucking today or yesterday, whatever the fuck. Because of an alleged disgruntled dev who hated the atmosphere of the studio, which has been reported on already for months, they leaked information related to the game itself. There have been scenes that have leaked. Basically, the entire plot or huge aspects of it have already leaked. And it's basically ruined the game. The thing that people were looking for was this character Joel, him being killed, and that has basically been shown already. So you've already had all the wind, all the, the hype sucked out from that being leaked. Because people, the first game, they like this protagonist, they like the story with him and Ellie and blah, 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 blah. Showing him die, that's the last thing you should have had leak. That's the last thing you want. You got to keep that a secret until the very last second, until people are already buying the game. You don't want that kind of thing leaking, but it did. And the funny aspect of it is that based on what we know, there is just scene after scene after scene after scene of just linear, either you're going along a trail or you are in a cutscene of Ellie and her fucking hook-nosed dyke girlfriend.
Did you ever notice he's the only motherfucker who can smoke a cigarette in the rain with his hands tied behind his back? That nose is like natural canopy.
Just doing, cringy fucking romantic shit. Like, Will Wheaton, SJW fucking dialogue from 2005. Cringe scenes. Over and over and over again in this fucking game. Is it Will Wheaton or Joss Wheaton? That's what I'm thinking of. Joss Wheaton. It is awful. And one of the things that I found so funny about this is the fact that one of the apparent antagonists of the game, the person, the villain who kills Ellie's girlfriend and kills Joel with, I think, a golf club or something, is fucking Tranny Savage from the It's Ma'am video.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Literally, the villain of the game is some random fucking tranny who looks like the It's Ma'am fucking dude. This is fucking lame. Don't Nod could come up with something better than this. This is hysterical. I saw that and I was like, no, there's no fucking way that this is true. There's no way. And I'm going to tell you this. If it's not happening already, when the game comes out, dude, the SJWs are going to get really fucking angry about this. Neil Druckmann fucking played himself. He's fallen into a trap of his own design. The SJWs are going to rage about some big, bulky It's Ma'am tranny being the fucking villain of this game. There's no way. There is no fucking way they are not going to freak the fuck out over this. Oh, man. It's so unbelievable. I don't know what the fuck this cocksucker was thinking. He's the visionary, though. He's the American fucking Kojima, so leave it to him. He's the genius. He'll figure it out. But, I don't know, it begs certain questions in terms of the delay and, the statement that was released and stuff like that. I don't want to get into that because that is speculation as to what exactly went on here. But from what's said, this dev that is supposed to be responsible for the leaks, he got blackballed by the studio. He was owed a payment and they blackballed him. They were like, nah. And I mean, who knows exactly what happened in that process. Something happened, but he was upset enough to do this. And the result is hilarious, of course, as you can tell, but this is, in many ways, a harpoon in this whale of a company. Like, this is not, I don't know if it's going to be enough to really damage this company permanently, but it is likely going to seriously fuck up the release of this game. Now, like, the SJWs and the SJW compliant sort of people are going to still buy this game, but there's going to be pressure. Like, all you need is another episode of PewDiePie or somebody equivalent doing what he did with Mass Effect Andromeda and just mocking it. Just saying, look at how fucking lame this shit is, and it will devastate it in terms of sales. But I don't really know if that's going to happen, because people have been pointing out, like, all the people mocking Naughty Dog, and everyone right now is coming at him. The SJW compliant people are coming at him hard, because, again, this is another story about the internal culture of the company, even though part of the story is that it's because of the SJWs. It's because of them being in the company that this guy was so angry. It's part of what's going on here, allegedly. It's the divisive internal culture of the company. So it's kind of strange to me that they're going this hard because, I mean, look in the fucking mirror for who's responsible. It isn't just Neil Druckmann and, oh, they're cheap and blah, 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 and oh, crunch. No, it's the SJWs within the company that have created such a fucking terrible environment for the corporate culture within the company. It's not fucking MAGA hat wearers running around saying, you fucking niggers and trannies, this is MAGA country. It's the SJWs that are responsible for this. So, again, it's surprising that they're actually... I would expect them to bury this story, to not talk about it, to not bring this up, because it begs the question, who's responsible for the bad company culture when it's run top to bottom by fucking leftists? Well, obviously, it's the leftists. But they've already created the narrative. They've already woven the web of a little crunch, a little overtime, a little working conditions. They've already woven this fucking narrative. The priority appears to be keeping this narrative moving forward of unionization. We want to unionize gaming workers because the conditions are terrible of working 50 hours a week. Oh, I worked 50 hours a week for 4 months. Ooh, I'm having a nervous breakdown. This has been a long-standing narrative in the last few years, and I guess this is them just piling on another company. They don't care that it's run top to bottom by SJWs. They don't care that this is an SJW propaganda game. They don't care. They're taking this from the angle of Naughty Dog is another big company that is related to Sony, and it's bad to work for them. So they're attacking them. Then you have all the people that are fans of the first game or fans of Naughty Dog because of Uncharted, and they're enraged because this is a piece of shit SJW game that keeps getting delayed, and now it's been leaked, and it looks fucking awful and cringeworthy and lame and uncool. And they're not happy about that because they like Uncharted. They think Uncharted is cool. They think that The Last of Us Part 1 is cool. They like Naughty Dog in other contexts, but now they think that it's lame. So they're, in my view, that's why they're angry, furious. It's not because The game isn't going to be linear as fuck and full of fucking just cutscenes where it's just a David Cage game that you think is cool. Because that's what, in my view, many of the fucking Naughty Dog games were. Is just narrative games that you think are cool because there's guns in them. Sorry. You're free to like Uncharted or whatever else Naughty Dog has done. To me, it doesn't matter. But in terms of this, I think the reason is why they're so upset right now, and they are genuinely upset. Like, there's a ton of fans really upset right now. It's because this is, in my view, because this game is fucking lame. That's why they're upset. And then you have me and all the anti-SJWs, and like I said, I don't have an investment in this outside of the culture war, where I get to piss on the grave of this franchise, this company, and it's not to piss on the fans. I'm not doing that. I'm not mocking the fans. It's not my objective in this. It's to open everyone's eyes and say that this has been happening for years. This has gone on since like 2008, and it has now infected every fucking studio to where now they're changing aspects to fucking Cyberpunk, where even the base Polacks are just as SJW as Atlas. They're just as SJW as Naughty Dog. They're just as SJW as Maxis was until they collapsed. They're just as SJW as BioWare. There's no real distinct differences now because guess who's joining these companies? You have people being laid off. You have people leaving and going elsewhere, and they're hiring SJWs at all these companies. And guess what? It affects the corporate culture. It affects the policies, and it affects the games, and this is the end fucking result of all of it. You can't just pin it on Neil Druckmann. Neil Druckmann himself is not responsible for the internal culture, all the aspects, every hire of this company. This has been a long time coming, and we've crossed the threshold of no return. We've crossed the precipice. Here we are. This is what it is as it is now. That is my investment in all this, is to open your eyes and say that we're all in this together, and if you don't want your favorite franchises and companies ruined, this is what we got to talk about. We got to talk about what we can do to affect change, to take these fuckers and eject them from gaming. As it relates to the corporate scene, the industry scene, it's basically clamp down on everyone. And so when someone raises their hand and says, oh, what about the... Oh, what is it called? The thing where they did this with a fucking Dragon Age Inquisition. You have to have so many women in a room speaking whatever the fuck that is called. And they literally did this. They had an internal meeting where they said, check the box, we're doing this in this game. And they bragged about it after release. You take those people and you either fire them, that's my recommendation, or you say, shut the fuck up, get out of the room. You have to be that firm. Those are your two options. Because if you do anything other than those two things, eventually they're going to whittle away influence, and maybe suck the dick of some soy boys, some beta males that make up the entire internal staff of your company. And eventually what they want will be done, and then your company will be fucking done. The problem is, though, is that going to happen? Well, it didn't in comics, and now that industry's dead. So, will it happen in gaming? Probably not. We're probably fucked. All these companies are probably fucked. Those of us that have enjoyed this hobby our entire lives, we're probably all fucked. Because if they can get to the Japanese, if they can get to the Polacks, they can get to everybody. They'll infect everybody, they'll fucking ruin everything. And, as I started with, our only options will be to either play these shitty games or to play nothing at all. Those are going to be our fucking options. And I don't want to fucking hear about the indie scene, okay? Because that is the first given reaction to everything that I just said. The indie scene. Shut the fuck up. Fuck your Jurassic Park mound of shit, okay? There's some kernels of fucking of sustenance in there, Louis. You just gotta dig in. Fuck off. All right. So that is the, well, I'll say one more thing. You got the speculation. You have the rumors about who the bad guys are. Tranny Savage being like a ridiculous Christian, I don't really see that conjoining well. It doesn't seem very coherent. So the rumors that have come out about this game, I can't really go into because, in my view, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, they're not really linking up to what's been shown in the leaks. They're not linking, from my position anyways. So I can't really speculate as to these rumors. I had a bunch of people ask me, even some in DMs and shit, you got to talk about this, you got to talk about this. But I was like, I got to wait. Like, I don't want to speculate about this because, like I said, if you speculate, it's just, oh, you're speculating, fuck you, fuck your channel, you're wrong. I'm not an SJW, I just support them in every way, shape, and form. I'm a centrist TM. So, yeah, I can't really talk about that. But here is the question. The question I had that I can now answer, and that's going to be part 2 of this on The Last of Us Part 2. This is the original video that I wanted to do. And I'll, for the sake of brevity, I'm already like 40 minutes into this shit. I'll just lay this out to you. So, over the past few years, Sony has created an utterly draconian censorship policy. And they don't make any ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no bones about this. This is simply a censorship policy. And they have gone after Japanese games like no other as it relates to this. They have been censoring games left and right. They've been threatening games with expulsion and exclusion from their platform. They have been really heavy-handed with the censorship policy and have been for years. So when it came to the information that was released, that there is going to be underage nudity, or potentially, like, this is lolicon that's been aged up, Louis. It's not real lolicon. This character who looks underage, that by all appearances is underage. Her girlfriend also looks underage. But no, Louis, they've been aged up in this fanfic. Don't worry, it's not real lolicon. I guess you're right. I'll take you at your word that this isn't lolicon, even though these characters look underage. Completely look underage. Act, talk, look. Everything about them aesthetically is underage. But no, Louis, it's not lolicon. This isn't Western lolicon. Neil Druckmann's Western lolicon. It's not that. They're aged up. They're 1,000-year-old vampire hunter. Don't worry, Louis. So, despite there being nudity in this game, despite there being overt sexuality in this, in a way that is more overt and explicit and obnoxious than any of the Japanese games that I've seen that have had titillating content, this game is not only not censored at all, is just greenlit in its entirety on Sony, on PlayStation as a platform. But also, Sony is over the top promoting this game. This is one of Sony's big hits that they're pushing, is The Last of Us Part 2. They are pushing this game, unlike so many other games that they could be promoting. Now, here's the thing. I have to claim ignorance. I did not know why. I didn't know why it was. I figured it was SJW politics. That's what I figured. Sony is full of SJWs. They support this game because it's woke. Therefore, that's the reason why they're pushing this game so hard. Again, I have to claim ignorance. Regardless of the hypocrisy, the ridiculousness, the absolute absurdity, and I'll link you to all the articles, the sheer absurdity of everything involved here, of this being a glorified Western lolicon game with fucking nudity in it, and yet Sony is not only looking the other way, they're not looking the other way, they are promoting this game actively. Like, it's going to be the hit and the biggest game that the PlayStation 4 has ever seen. This is the last big hit on PlayStation 4, is fucking this piece of shit. I didn't know why, and it just hit me in the face, and I was like, oh, there's the answer to my question. It's the money. Sony has, and again, maybe this is me being the last person to the finish line. I didn't know that Sony themselves had invested in this game. Sony themselves have an investment in Naughty Dog and explicitly in this fucking game. And that is why they're doing this. So it's like our censorship policy, all our woke bullshit, fuck it all! Fuck it all. Throwing it all under the bus. Fuck everything we've said. Fuck every example. Every comparison between this fucking piece of shit Western lolicon Yuri game and every game we have fucking censored. Fuck it all. We're gonna push this game like it's like there's nothing else being made at the time. Like there's no other game you could possibly be playing. This is the one fucking game of 2020 and of the last decade that you could possibly play that is going to be the biggest hit of all time. That is going to dethrone Grand Theft Auto 5. This is it. That is how they're promoting this fucking game. And the reason is, the answer to my question of why is because Sony themselves have a direct financial interest in doing so. That is the fucking reason. And to me, this is just total clown world. This is just total clown world. That from a company that has been more draconian than and more hypocritical than even Valve, even as hypocritical as Steam and as Valve has been as it relates to censorship on their platform, Sony is the absolute worst. They are the most hypocritical platform. They are the most hypocritical fucking company as it relates to this, because they have been more draconian and more absurd with censorship than any other fucking company, any other fucking platform. And yet they have this fucking glorified Yuri lolicon game as the last greatest hit for the fucking PlayStation 4. I can't imagine the fucking calls that were made to the ESRB to get this under the fucking radar, to get this through the screening process, the censorship process. This is Rockstar all over again, where we have it in fucking black and white. No frontal nudity. No nudity. If you want to put it on our platforms, if you want to put it on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, anybody, if you want to get it past the ESRB, no frontal nudity. Well, Rockstar says, here's our fucking wad of money on the table. Fuck yourselves. And then everyone says, okay, yes, sir, on every fucking platform. And all I want is not censorship, but consistency. But when it comes to the wider industry, the bigger industry, the AAA companies, the rules do not apply to them. And this is just another circumstance, another example of that to an extreme degree that is so naked, transparent, obnoxious, and undeniable that I just can't believe. I can't believe that no one is even discussing this fact. That this is another fucking example of a game that if this were from Japan, this is a Japanese lolicon game, it would be censored and it would not be on PlayStation. It would not be on Xbox. It would be barely allowed on Steam. It would be censored just to be on Patreon or anything. To make any money whatsoever. You'd be buying it from MAGA Gamer or some other platform. That's where you find it. Even they ban it. You gotta go on fucking some other website I'm not gonna name. That is where you gotta go to get this fucking game. But because it's made by Neil Druckmann, because it's made by Naughty Dog, because Sony has a direct financial interest in it being a success, fuck everything else. I disagree. Oh man, fuck this whole industry. Fuck this hobby. Fuck this industry. Any iteration of it. Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Japan, United States. Fuck this industry.
Oh, fuck it.
Oh, fuck it. Yes, that's your answer. That's your answer to everything.
Full of fucking simps, hypocrites, beta males, leftists, fucking assholes. Like, I fucking hate it. I hate this fucking industry. It deserves to die. It deserves to collapse. All these fucking people deserve what is coming to them. Do you want to hear another joke there? Murray. These fucking people deserve what they are going to get. I think this game is going to be a commercial failure. And I think it is because they've pissed off their own fans. They've been let off the hook early. They've been shown what this game is early. And now they have the excuse to get angry. And all the leftists can go, oh, fucking Naughty Dog, they're not paying employees, blah, blah, blah. Like, you have the cover now. You have the excuse. Well, I'm not an anti-SJW faggot. I'm not one of those faggots on YouTube. I'm properly woke. I'm a centrist, but I'm not gonna buy this fucking piece of shit. But now you have the excuse as to why. Even though we all know what the score is. We all know what this is. But now you have your fucking cover to dive under that cover. And I have my fucking excuse for not buying this game now. And that's fine. That's fine. You have that cover now. Now you have it. Now you can duck under and say, well, I'm not a supporter of SJW nonsense. I got the excuse now. Oh, Neil Druckmann's a tyrant. I was sucking his dick fucking 6 months ago. But he's a tyrant and his studio's awful. Ugh. Oh, it's such bullshit. It is just such bullshit. But you got it. I can't deny you it. You have it now. You have your excuses to bail out. And I think a lot of people are going to. I don't think Sony, I was going to say PlayStation. I don't think Sony is going to get a return on their investment. I don't think Naughty Dog is going to do well. I doubt this is going to kill the company. Because no company apparently dies anymore. Fucking THQ is like one company that has died. But since then, every fucking company, no matter how much they fuck up, no matter how many bad games they publish, they're still here. They're still fucking around. Even Telltale is somehow, I mean, they're not doing shit as far as I can tell, but they managed to come back. They're somehow back in business. They found investment some fucking how. In a Telltale can find investment, so can Naughty Dog. For today. At least just for today. I can laugh. I can enjoy the schadenfreude or whatever fuck, you know. I can enjoy the naked hypocrisy, the laughable absurdity of all this. The people trying to make excuses for Tranny Savage. It's Ma'am being the villain and beating their protagonist to death with a golf club and all this shit. Your fucking glorified Western Yuri game, lolicon game, whatever. I don't care. I have no investment in this. I'm not going to buy it. I don't give a fuck about Naughty Dog. The rest of it, it's just another SJW game in a completely top-to-bottom, wall-to-wall, entirely, totality, SJW fucking industry. Where every fucking game, fucking, you got... Just the other day, here's another example, fucking Battlefield 5 is done. They're cutting it loose. They're like, fuck it, I'm not spending another nickel on this motherfucker. It is done. We are done with Battlefield 5. And you have this fucking fat cunt, SJW, that is now running the development of EA games. She's like, no, everyone's Battlefield. We're going to defend this until the last day. But it's like, nah, I'm going to say that's all the fucking SJW journos. But behind the scenes, I'm cutting this fucking game. We're done. Wrap it up. Not spending any more money on this piece of shit. We're just shoveling it out for all the fucking retards that play this franchise. They're going to make excuses. Oh, it's going to get better eventually. Oh, they're going to support it. No, they're not. No, they're not, morons. And you'll buy the next game anyways. You'll still buy Battlefield fucking 6 or whatever they're on at this point. You'll still fucking buy it. You'll get what you deserve. Because the fucking fact is that there's just no repercussions. There's just no repercussions for any of this. They can be naked hypocrites. They can be corrupt. They can be incestuous. They can do all the worst things possible. They can abuse their employees and all this fucking shit. Nothing happens. Nothing fucking happens. They pay no penalties for any of this behavior. For any of these practices. They can destroy franchises. They can put as many microtransactions and all that. Nothing fucking happens. Nothing changes. Nothing. It just keeps getting worse. Everything keeps getting worse. And everyone can make as many videos as, you know, oh, I'm so upset about these microtransactions. Oh, they should be abusing their employees. Nothing changes. Nothing fucking changes. And even if the whole industry unionizes tomorrow, the games will get worse. They'll just have a longer development process. They will still be worse. Because the problem isn't, oh, I had to work 50 hours a week for 4 months. And, oh, this game has a microtransaction screen. Oh! That isn't the fucking problem. I played Ghost Recon Breakpoint. The microtransactions in the game and the sort of stupid, like, it was like fucking Destiny 2 or that kind of game where they fucking bait you with, oh, get some better guns and then you can also buy shit, blah, blah. Like, it's not the difference. It's not the make or break to whether a game is shit or not. It's not. It's not your fucking microtransactions that makes this game shit. It's the fact that the game itself is diverse and enriched shit. It's not the microtransaction screen that's hidden away somewhere. Okay? All the problems with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, all the problems that are with that game, it's not the microtransactions. It's not the, you go to Sargon in the game and you buy Oaklum or whatever the fuck it's called and you get some special items. It's not, oh, you can buy some extra XP boosters. That's not the problem with the fucking game. And if you think it is, you're a fucking retard. You're a simp for this shit industry. You are a literal beta male simp for this shit industry. That is who you are. You are making excuses for the fucking transparent, obvious shit that is the fucking problem. It is the content of the fucking game. It's not the microtransactions. It's not, oh, we need unionization in this shitty industry. It's not that. And if you think so, you're a fucking retard. Declarative statement. Opinion statement, but a, nonetheless, declarative statement. You are a fucking retard. Can you tell this has been, in the back of my mind? This has been on the back burner. I've been thinking about this. Can you tell? I'm going to leave it there, though. I'm going to stop. Because this has gone on long enough. Feel free to buy this game. I don't fucking care. It's your fucking Trump bucks to spend, I guess, because we're all out of a fucking job. You got nothing better to do, apparently, in June, because God knows how long the shutdown's going to continue. Feel free to buy this piece of shit game and enjoy your Joss Whedon cringe dialogue from 15 fucking years ago. Enjoy that lame shit. Enjoy it. Because I don't give a single good goddamn about this piece of shit game. I'm never, in a million years, going to buy it or anything made by Naughty Dog. Because I never have. Why would I start now? Thanks for listening, though. And I'll try to upload some content in the near future. All right?